Yeah. Yeah. So we got four stocks currently. Massive gap up. So gotta watch out for that gap up there. So first green day two. Some massive gap up as well. These other two are underneath the volume, 5 to 10 million plus volume. So only LMDX and AKU currently. For this one, I likely wouldn't have entered in the first 5 minute candle. Uh, and there's no way for me to enter at middle VWAP because it's already way up here. And then the open price is right here. You see that O? It's right here. That O open price is 0.2765. So that would have been like I would have been looking to get in at like 0.278, 279, which is already at 30. So uh, wouldn't have been entering that anyway. And I mean, that's why I usually don't enter in the first 5 minute candle. And then LMDX is the only other thing that fits. Yeah, these other two I wouldn't touch because it's underneath. Interesting. It says that my most active scanner has 0 stocks on it. Clearly, these two fit. So I don't know what's going on with stocks to trade. That's the benefit of having two platforms. When one's not doing right, you just use the other one. I have no idea why it's doing. Let me X this and try to run it again. I'm gonna say, yeah, still says 0. Interesting. Well, yeah, only two that I see are these two. It's used VWAP as middle VWAP as support, so it's a little bit more stable there. But I would still be waiting for the next candle. And preferably, I want the next candle to dip down to make the daily candle go back red and then come back green because I like stocks to prove themselves to me. This first 5 minutes of the trading day is not really proving anything like this. Whoever bought this right at the open price, if they would have bought it at that 27.8 level, I was saying, let's see, 278, they would have only been up 29.62, so they wouldn't even have got to 5% profit. And so now ideally this pushes down to the middle VWAP to use it as support. And then ideally this goes back red on the daily candle to turn back red, which means it needs to go under 33. And that you can see the low of this candle right here is they didn't even let it touch 33. So but yeah, I like for stocks to prove themselves first. And what happened to my alerts that I put up here? All right, looks like I just got alerts. Nope, same stuff there. Okay, so now this is pushing down. So if it uses middle VWAP as support, now because middle VWAP is below the open price, I would not enter if it dips below the middle VWAP and then comes back on top of it and then pushes. Um, I would wait for it to get back to the open price to turn back green. Because I mean, this is a massive gap up, and so you want to avoid gapping craps where it just gaps up and then just sells off the entire day all the way back down to this dotted line, which is the previous day's close. And then this is the benefit of entering on the not entering that first 5 minutes to let the stock prove itself. So that's all it said. I wanted this to come back red, daily candles back red. And then if it can come back to the open price and go up, that 27.8, 27.9 would be ideal. This is attempting to go back green without even going down to the middle VWAP. So it could be strong, but like I said, these gaps are massive. And you want to see on really large gaps like this, you want to see really fast price action going on in here. You want to see the time sales moving very fast and the level two moving very fast. And this is a kind of fast, but not really. Yeah, these large orders are very nice to see though. And so that they may use the 83 EMA as support. But yeah, that's why you want to wait. Definitely want to wait. Because ideally, the most ideal place, the open price is right around middle VWAP and price is under them. Like price is trading under them, and then it comes up to it and then just goes. That's the ones I really like because then my support is beneath my entry. I have support pre-market, but the volume is so much higher under once normal market opens. You can see these volume bars are way bigger than pre-market. So I like for my support to be formed in the black area. It's light gray right here, black, my support, and then come up. And so this and people entering in this candle have no support. And that's why they're negative right now. Anybody who bought in this candle is negative right now. And this right here, the volume bar is kind of high pre-market and there's support down here, but same thing. Now this, they didn't even let it go down to the middle VWAP, which is a strong price action sign. And now it's trying to break the high and it's already going back green. But as soon as the candle turns back green, it goes right back. It goes right back red. So this could either be a really strong top or it'll break this 30 and then push. So that would be a risky play entering at right at the open price, but it is potentially gonna work because you did let this first 5 minute dip down, try to go down to middle view, which the buyers didn't even let it, and then look, it's right back up. And so that's a very strong bullish movement. I missed it just because I was looking back and forth. I don't like I said, I don't really care. I already profited this morning on system two in pre-market. But if I had not profited this morning, then yeah, ideally would have been the best entry in this 27.8, 27.9 area. And it's already at 20. Yeah, see, just broke that. And there you go. And then that would have been right now, you'd have been up 31, would be up almost 15%. It has to hit 39.70 to be 15%. But at 0.3058 would have been 10%. So you would have had two goals already met very quickly. And then, like I said, if this, now that it's broke pre-market high, if this does not close over, I would dump every single share I had if it did not close over instantly because that is an extremely bearish sign. And I've seen stocks get absolutely wrecked that do not close over pre-market high if they push up to break the pre-market high. It's now only thing that fits the, and I mean, really, I should change the the minimum volume because even though it's down here, I wouldn't even look at it. I used to in the past, but I, I just stopped. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it's like kind of like just struggling in this area because this is a massive gap up, like massive. You would prefer like for a first Green Day move, prefer the gap up to be like in this area, like the candle to be in this area. Way up here is like massive, but not to say it can't work. And so if I was in this in the 27.8, 27.9 area, I would just be waiting until 9:45 to see if it, or really 9:44. If it doesn't, if it's not closed over by 9:44, like end of 9:44, then it's likely not going to close over. But just got new highs there for the people who are in this. And so breaking 32 would put this up, put it up over 15% from that open price. But yeah, I always want to let that first 5 minute candle kind of play out to see what it's gonna do. And then let we'll try to grab the second candle. Because you don't want to be caught in moves like this where people are buying at open price, buying at middle view up, and then just getting dumped on. 31.8. And just looking at this, one thing I don't like about it is how it breaks it to a new high and then immediately slams back down. That tells me that there's not enough buyers on the bid to be consistently pushing it up to hold it higher. There are people buying on the ask, which is good, but you definitely want buyers. You want buyers smacking the ask and see like people are slamming orders like that on the ask, which is causing it to go up and then just stuff. So people are a good amount of people were probably in this yesterday in the 13s and they're up 103% profit right now. So I'd be smashing my order on the ass too if I was up 100% overnight. So it's just something to be mindful of people taking profit into you because of the gap up. And then this one is just chilling. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna use the 83 EMA as support. And then VWAP reclaim. Same thing. VWAP is beneath the open price. So you would want to wait for open price instead of entering right above middle VWAP. And that was the same scenario here, which is good because in the video I went over system when I was going over system one, majority of the plays, the open price was beneath middle VWAP and then it came up and then traded right on top of middle VWAP, then pushed. And so yeah, and look at this massive volume candle. And then they basically stuffed it in 31.8. So that's over 10%, less than 15% in 10 minutes, which is a very nice move. Volume is extremely high. You could have put 50, 60K in here and then been out pretty quickly. It don't sound like a lot. I mean, 12% on 50K is over $5,000, 5K a day, 25 a week, that's 100K a month. And I mean, if you don't have 50K, you probably have 5K. 5K in, 12%, that's over 500. And that's 10K a month. But yeah, this will probably, if this can get back on top of middle VWAP, that'll start a lot more buyers will get in, and then going back green will cause this to push. And so if I was to, uh, I'm likely not going to take a second trade on this because it's moving so slow, but let me refresh this. Yeah, see now there's nothing. Um, Let me see if my Soxy trade fixed itself. Oh, whatever. Um, if I was to trade on this on my Excel sheet, I would put open price. So the open price is at 33. So I would put my limit order at 0.331 or 0.332. And then as soon as it starts printing above the open price, I will press place order and then just make sure that I get filled. If it never makes it up there, great. I've avoided a loss. And then if I was in this, I would have been out in this candle because that would have made sense to get on in that candle. And then had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to get out in this area. And so on the 1 minute, making new highs is irrelevant to me, again, because look at the high volume. It made new highs, but then it just sat here for 3 minutes on high volume. That's a bearish sign. But on the 5 minute, you can clearly see. That's why I like using the 5 minute. I could clearly see this is a massive candle and it literally stuffed. And so when price came back down to 10%, which was 30, basically 0.306, would have dumped my entire position, if not a little bit higher, and then that would have been the trade. And that's why I said system two, you can make way more money because there's not as much volume.
Mhm.
But system one, you'll still have that consistent. Because think about it, you do 10% 3 to 5 times a week. That's an extra 30 to 50% increase on your account. That's per week.
Mm.
At the end of the month, that's 120 increase or 150% or 200, excuse me, 200% increase, 120 to 200% increase on your account. Even if you only had $1,000, that's definitely going to cover somebody's rent. If they had 2,000, that's going to start to wipe out somebody's work or add to it. So you don't need a lot of money to execute on this, and just got to be disciplined, consistent, and not greedy. Now it's holding middle VWAP, so this could continue higher. But for me, I would have, nah, if I'm up over 10%, I'm not letting it go back under 5%. No way I'm doing that. Not during market open. For system one, not doing that. For system two, maybe. If I'm up 10%, maybe I'll let it go back down to my entry or a little bit lower for potential for it to get more volume and just absolutely blow through 25% or something like that. But like I said, stocks go up and down or sideways on these low price ones.
Can you go over real quick your indicators for when you long and for when you short?
For system one,
Yes.
system one, I don't short. And
Okay.
for going long is it makes it to the scanner. These two are on the scanner earlier. And then after that, I just look at the volume. The volume was it was like I think it said 12 million and 81 million. Definitely over the 5 to 10 plus million. Yesterday's candle was red, so perfect. Yesterday's candle was red, perfect. So scanner, 5 to 10 million plus. Yesterday's candle was red. Yesterday's candle was red. Next, watch for this first 5 minute candle. I'm not, I'm, I rarely ever enter in this first 5 minute candle. Second candle, I wanted it to pull down, go back red, and then come back up green. Because, like I was saying, I want to have support in the black area for my trade. If I don't have support in the black area, then I don't have support. And that's why all these people that bought in this candle and this candle are getting dumped on right now. Because there is no support. It's high volume, and that just means everybody over here is taking profit into these people buying. Simple mistake that a lot of people make. Now, this one, again, I rarely ever enter in the first 5 minute candle. And so it went up green and then came back close red. And then it basically based right here, right above middle VWAP, and then came right back green. And so you wanted to get in as close to the open price as possible, like right above it. And so the open price, I'll put it over here so you can clearly see it. Open price is right here. You see the O. You can either hover over it and see it, or you can just take the cursor off of the chart completely and it'll be the same. So 0.2765, 0.2765. So I want my entry at 0.277, 278, or 279. I would have placed my order at 278 to make sure I get fully filled, and then let it ride, and then the push up. And 5% was at 29.19, so you would have been up 5% and 10, oh, and over 10% and almost 15% in this same candle right here, which also had the highest volume. And like I was saying on the 1 minute, it's doing high volume, but it's sitting in this same area for 5 whole minutes, and really 3 whole minutes. It was sitting in the high 31s. So should have been taking profit at 10, 11, 12, 13%, all in this area, all in this stuff. And especially on the 5 minute with this massive candle. But you can sell 80% here and then see if it respects and holds middle VWAP. Because like I was saying earlier, middle VWAP is where everyone has this on this chart. People who don't know what they're doing and the people who are moving the stock when they feel like it. Everyone has this on their chart. And so you could sell 80% in here to lock in your 10, 12% and then see if the rest can continue higher. But this did not close over the pre-market high. So I would definitely have unloaded all my shares. There's no way I would have held it.
Okay.
And yeah, uh, shorting will be kind of like a thing I'll do later. But for the most part, like just going long, because there's so much that goes into shorting low price. I mean, you can't even really short low price stocks unless somebody has 27K to use Cobra. And the freaking borrow fees and the short interest is so high. Like it's just a lot.
And that first 5 minute candle you looked at, that was at 9:30.
Yeah. From 9:30 to 9:35, I'm probably not entering.
Okay.
I mean, it would have to like in order for me to enter in the first 5 minute candle, it would have to like come down. It would have to be Let me think of the most ideal scenario for that. It would have to it would have to dip down. It would have to open right on top of middle view up. It would have to dip down and then come back up, and the open price is right there too. Then come back up, then go up a little bit, then go down again, then come back up, and then maybe even go down one more time. And then if it still supports through all of that, it's like literally the daily candle is going red, and then it's gone under middle view up, and then it's going back green, then it's going back red. Okay. If it's supporting through all of that in the first 5 minutes, it's probably gonna hold and go. But either way, even if I waited for the next 5 minute candle, I probably could get the same entry, and I would already have my support now. But yeah, the main thing about entering on system one is having support in the black area, which is I can just sit down by saying if the middle view up is below the open price, enter right above the open price. If the middle view up is above the open price, enter right above the middle view up, because either way, you're going to have the most ideal entry and you're going to already have support there. So I just smashed it all together to make it easier to teach, I guess. And now that this is coming back up to potentially close over again, if it gets a turquoise arrow, then that type of move would be it would close over, it would dip back down to middle view up, enter there, and then push. But trade already happened, so if I sold 80% in here when this was failing to close over, then I was still holding the rest to see if it would go. I would expect this to get a turquoise arrow, dip down somewhat to middle view up, and then continue to spike. Yeah, usually after a pre-market close over, dips down the middle view up, then continues to spike. But if they do that, if they close it over and then dip it down the view up, people are going to start selling because then it was using this high as resistance. So maybe they'll get the turquoise arrow and break this high at the same time and then dip it down. That would be the strongest play for, yeah, see, that would be the strongest play. Yeah, perfect. Like I said, that would be the strongest play for buyers. Well, okay, now we made a new high. So if we now dip down the middle view up on this next candle, we have the pre-market high close over. Strong sign to cut to continue to push, and then it'll go. And if somebody didn't sell any of their shares at 32.5, they would now be up over 15%, 32.05. And then getting to 0.33360 would be up 20%. And so if you sold none in here, you're up. If you sold 80%, held the rest, or if you just sold it all. Either of the three ways you're up following the system. You can see the volume is 32 million. Right here says volume. Let me move off 32 million, 547,074. So definitely 5 to 10 million plus. Yesterday was red, so today's first green day. And then you enter right around the open price in that second candle. Like I said, you can enter in the first candle if it really needs to support and prove itself in that first 5 minutes. But whoever is in LMDX entering in that first candle got dumped on. And even though this made support right here, it made support under the middle view up. So then it made resistance and is just dumping. So this is basically dead. Anything under middle view up, I don't look at them because it's irrelevant to me. TMPO has 1 million volume. First green day. There's a lot of first green days today. This one didn't have the 5-10 million plus, but first green days still usually do what you want them to do. 520 was below everything when market opened, which is really good. And just kind of trended sideways above middle view up. You see, you got the turquoise arrow. It dipped down the middle view up and continued to push. But for system one, I'm looking for high volume plays so I can load in a lot of shares just based on account size. Easily put 100K in this. Easily put 200K into this in this candle. Easily. And then right now, the volume is pretty low and it's continuing to make new highs. So it'll likely go higher. But this 5 minute candle was it was a pretty high volume candle. Yeah. But you got the close over pre-market high. So it very likely will break this 33.8 high because you got this turquoise arrow, which means that the pre-market high of 30. They perfectly topped it at 30, got closed over. Got closed over. Maybe they'll use it as support and then continue higher. Let's look at. There's not really any resistance. It's only had 57,000 shares. Yeah. It's basically in no resistance land. I see the 1 year. There's volume. There's volume right here. Yeah. So it really doesn't have resistance until like the 50s. Yeah, like the mid 40s, low 50s. But I wouldn't even be doing all that. I would just be looking right here and just watch for the high volume. Any questions on what I just went over?
Um, you mentioned this black area. Is that between these two lines right here? That space, the blue line and the purple.
Right here.
The, nah, below that. What is that? The black area you was referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
The black area is 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The gray
Uh,
area is 9:29 a.m. Eastern. It
oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
It's really pre and post market, but I've said that teaching people sometimes and it just stuck better when I would say the black or the light gray. But for me, this is pre-market, this is normal market.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so as soon as I want support after 9:30 a.m. If I'm in here, if I'm trading in here, okay, I can use support from here. If I'm trading over here, I need support over here. And that's why perfect example of anybody entered. Because look, if I remove this, if I remove this, well, I almost removed it. If I remove this, what support does anybody have buying in this first 5 minute candle? They have none. There's no support there. And so here, if I do this, what support does somebody have buying at 27.8, 27.9? They have this 26.4 level, this 26 level. It went up, held, went down, held, and now you're getting right in here. 27.8, 27.8 right here. Get in, up, sideways, up. But yeah, sometimes people use like pre-market support, and I just see pre-market support just get waxed because the volume is way higher. Like those levels are only relevant to the relevant volume. Yeah. And LMDX is one of them plays where like it'll do this, it'll dip down, and then as long as the 21 and 28 don't cross the 83, this could actually come back up later in the day and then like trickle sideways. And then once it reclaims middle view up, gets back on top of middle view up, it could then push and have a, I don't know why the heck it keeps deleting my alert for this high, whatever. It could get back on middle view up and then take off.
So anything that happens in a pre-market rarely affects anything that happens in the open market.
Other than people taking profit.
Okay.
But that's also based on the volume. Like if the pre-market volume, if this little light blue bar was like massive and it was bigger than these, then it would take more weight. I take weight by volume. I take importance by volume. If there's no volume or high volume, then it's not important. It says BGXX just got added to top percent gainers. So let me refresh this for the recording. And volume is super low, so irrelevant. TMPO. CANO. This is the first green day, but volume doesn't fit, and this is also beneath. I told you it was gonna break that 33.8. Volume is beneath this 520 right here. And did I just say volume? All the all the moving averages. What's going on? CANO. All the moving averages are beneath the 520. I prefer the inverse, like how the 520 is beneath everything. I prefer that.
Mhm.
And that's what you see, it's still going. And you see how crispy the entry would have been in 27.8, 27.9 area. It's already at 35.98. And if you go back to our Excel sheet, we're up over 25%. And so if I would have got in this, I would have been up over 50% today on 2 trades. And then TMPO, it had the 520 underneath everything, but again, the volume wasn't there. And so only thing that fits the criteria fully. And if, and like I was saying, if anybody wants to change this 200,000 to 2 million, go for it. Because I mean, I don't even look at this stuff under here. Let's see, we got the volumes increasing again.
It just set tracking numbers. Oh,
Let me see if my girl got in AKU. I'm about to text her.
all right. Make sure I get these notes in. She's been trading for a long time too.
No. She uh she was on Forex for a little bit. Um, but then I kept telling her, like, listen, if you really want to be a millionaire, you need to get on stocks. I know Forex is cool. You could put the little 100 in there. You could put the little 200 in there. and then you can grow it, and then you can blow it. I get it. It's fun, but
Yeah, that's money.
you wanna really get rich, you gotta get like 500, get like 1,000, and then really just go up from there. Really
So
wanna,
she started.
yeah, she started low. I could have just gave her money, but I was like, nah, it'll feel better when you really grind it out.
Yeah, she started this year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She didn't listen. She didn't finally get off of her Forex addiction until like I think like a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, she did good. She did. I wouldn't even say. I mean, I wish we were just talking about this the other day. I think it was end of August. Yeah, August, September. Yeah, yep. And like middle of August, she did like I think she was negative. She has a not to blast her, but she's a good listener when it's time to listen, but then it's like it kind of goes out the window when it's execution mode. And so
I feel
that was like the first month, which is understandable. I mean, we're all human. I'm not perfect. I mean, clearly I missed this trade.
you.
I wasn't intending to buy it because I'm like, nah. I kind of got that approach like, nah, I already got the bag, so I'm not about to try to get some more just to potentially give some back. So, but but then what was it, September? She did 45 point, it was either 45.6 or 45.8 last month.
Damn.
Yep, really good. And then she started this month off positive 30% in 2 days. So we have little mini coaching sessions. 'Cause I'm like, listen, it's very simple. You just gotta look exactly for this and then just make sure to take profit. Because I taught her maybe right now, the 10% being $100, who cares? Eventually it's going to be 10K you're using and it's going to be $1,000. And you make $1,000 3 to 5 times a week. That's 12 to 20K a month. I mean, you could do a good amount with 12 to 20K a month.
Yeah.
And then once you do that 1 month, the next month you're going to be using 20K. Then now you're at six to 10K a week, which is 24 to 40 a month. I mean, you're knocking on half a mil a year, and you're doing the same exact thing. That was the same little $100 profit, the same 1,000. Next thing you know, I'm like, you just got to get that discipline now. Cause just cause you look at it, and I tried to do the little Tim Rattani approach where he removes his dollar P&L so you can only see the percentage to focus on that.
Mhm.
But you can't do it on the app. You can't remove it on the app. So I just said if you ever look at that dollar amount, look right to next to it and focus on the percentage. Because you just need to focus on getting that 10% to 1,000 instead of 100.
Mm.
And
How long have you
notice
been?
I didn't say get the 100 to 1,000. Get the 10% from 100 to the 10% at 1,000. Sometimes people get that confused, like, oh, I just need to hold this longer until this $100 turns into 1,000. No, no. The same 10% eventually will enter equal $1,000. And what were you about to ask?
How long have you been using this particular system?
It's really since the beginning. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, I just didn't have all the moving averages to give me more insight.
okay.
Yeah, I've been trading first green days since since I learned about it. I just got the volume specifics, and I didn't get all the moving averages until Forex, and really closer to the end of I mean, US 30 is still there, but like closer to the end of the focus on it, I want to say. So yeah, because I didn't have the 520, I didn't have the 83, I didn't have the 2128. And back then there wasn't even the upper and lower. There was only the middle VWAP. So the technology and stuff has came a long way. And it's like just through constant testing and just trading it. Like, okay, first green day. Okay, if the volume is this, it may be a little choppy or the candles may be weird. If the volume is in this area, it's going to do that smooth, give you signals on when to get in, give you signals on when to get out type stuff that I like. It's going to break a level and then it's going to hold it. That's what I want to see. And then um, just the 520 was a key indicator of what your trade is potentially going to do. If the 9:30 a.m. starts above the 520, it's likely gonna go higher. It's very likely gonna go higher. Unless it's like super far away. But if it's super far away, that means on the daily chart, it's been running for a minute. Like it's been running for a minute. And then like maybe like instead of the moving averages being right here, and the 520s right here, maybe there would be like all of the moving averages to be up here, like way above it, and then maybe that move may just flop. But it will still go 5%. I'm like 99.99% sure it would still go 5%. Because 5% is like nothing in the stock market in low price land. And then again, right here, if anybody was being greedy and wondering why this is dumping, I mean, it's doing high volume. It's sat in the same area for 15 whole minutes. That's a long time to get out of a trade. And if you're in at 27.8, 27.9, at 37.4, uh, I'm gonna send this in the my Excel in the chat how it looks. I mean, 37.4 is 4%, or it was 4 cents under hitting the 50% alert. And so, but I mean, you could just calculate it easy. I'll just bring up the calculator. Do this. Need to order another quantum detox. This weather shift is throwing my sinuses off.
You try that Colorado Silver?
Oh, yeah, I need to order that from the Gen website.
Oh yeah, it's fire.
27.8 and then divide that by 27.8. Because remember, it's exit. I'm just using the high. Exit minus entry, and then it gives you the number, and then you divide. Well, it gives you. I'll just redo it as I'm saying it so it makes sense. I'm taking the high minus the entry that I would have had. I did not trade this. Gives me a number divided by the entry. And so then that's the number, and you times this number by 100. So 34.5% from entering in this candle at 935 and exiting. Well, we can't exit at the high, but would have been exiting in this area. So it would have been like 30, over 30% for sure in this 15-minute top. And then how did that look on the 1 minute? Again, high volume, high volume, high volume, really high volume. And it literally just sat in this area this entire time. And like I said, a lot of people, for some reason, they think that this is the base to go higher. Like, no, the volume needs to be, if it's going sideways, the volume needs to be low for it to go higher. If it's going sideways and the volume is high. And if I zoom out like this, so you can really see it, like it was going sideways right here, and look how low the volume is. It's going sideways right here. The volume is way lower right here. But then when it's getting to a top going sideways, the volume is way higher than it was over here. And I don't, whatever. I'm not teaching everybody. Maybe it's good that they don't know. So then we have people to sell our shares to. We sell our shares into these people. But yeah, going to 41 would have put this 41.7. So in this area would have been 50%. But it's still above pre-market high. It's still above middle view up. So maybe somebody could have sold 80% of their position in this candle, maybe 5% more in here, or maybe even 10% more of their position here, and then just keep holding it to see if it can just keep going. Yeah, scaling out is important because you can unload your entire 10% or your entire 100% here, but then you miss out on this.
What has been your biggest indication to get out?
The high volume, these high volume candles like this, or just sitting in the same area.
Okay.
That's my two main things. High volume and sitting in the same area, or just the largest volume candle, and it's literally stuffing or selling off, I'm getting out. That tells me that people are unloading, because you gotta remember the share volume is extremely high on what we're trading. So that means there's a lot of money being put in and put out. And so if it's doing a massive candle like this and it's not going higher, somebody's unloading shares and I need to be unloading with them. Especially if it's beyond my profit targets. But that's the benefit of scaling out because you can then hold the position to see how high you can really take it. So 80% here, 5-10% in this top here, and maybe it'll support again and then continue higher. Or maybe it'll come back down the middle view up and then just start trading under it. And then you'll just liquidate the rest and then be fully out. And then you'll have the average of your sales here, the average of your sales here, the average of your sales here, giving you your total percentage profit, which is why I use Profitly because it does it all for you. So instead of calculating like, okay, I sold 80% here, I sold 10% here, and I sold the other 10% here, how much did I make? One, you'll see your account went up. That's always a given. So you could see the dollar amount, but I focus on percentages. As you can see on the Profitly, I just post percentage and then the gain because that's what's important. And then Profitly will do it for you.
Uh,
Yeah.
And that's the thing you said it costs 180 a month.
No. Stocks that trade cost 180 a
Stock.
month.
Okay.
Profitly is free. And
Okay.
that's what I sent you on Instagram. All the DVDs are in there.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. So the same place the DVDs are, the same place I use to track trades. So I can focus on. Oh yeah, she said just got out at 10:11. So let's see. She listening now, yeah. Yeah, better be. She got out at 10:11. Let's see. Beautiful. She got out right here. Yeah. Let me see where she got in though. That's important too. Yeah, her 10% gains are probably like 500-600 now.
Mm.
Because we were just talking the other month about, she was like, yeah, but sometimes when I look at the freaking profit, it's like $100. Like, what I'm gonna do with that? I'm like, you're not gonna do nothing with it. But it's also not going, not being greedy is definitely not gonna get you any closer to it being 1,000.
Hmm.
Like, if you don't take it and then you take a 5 or 10% loss, how close, how many hundreds did you get that time? None. You got negative hundreds. And she was like, oh, wow, I didn't look at it that way. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather have 100 than lose 100. But yeah, that was a really good trade. I want to see who she got in. But let's see. Let's see if my little lessons are sticking.
He said she started with 300.
Uh, Initially, I don't remember. I think she put 200 in there.
Okay, okay.
I don't remember. I just remember telling her like focus on the percentages, start off small till you truly know that you understand what I'm saying to you. And what I do would do here and there is have her teach me how to execute this system one or system two.
Mm.
And so if you're just going through the day, like of course you could teach yourself, but when you kind of like mentally you'll teach it better if you teach it to somebody else.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I would like push my order to 28.5. Oh, she still got in on this candle, so that's good. She got at 28.5. 28.5. That's still a good entry because that's even before this high break. And then she got out up here. Like right in this. Really, I've noticed she's really good about being patient and letting it truly create a top. It's pretty good. Let's see. 28, 28.5. And she got out at 10.11. So we'll call it 34. So she made just under 25% on that one. Oh yeah, she feeling nice today. I already know. She feeling nice today. So that should put her up like 60 or 70% this month.
Oh wow, yeah, she doing good.
Yeah,
What's your averages looking like now?
over 100% a week.
I don't know. I don't even know why I asked.
Nah, it was just because last week was freaking crazy. Like I had this last week, or no, it was the week before last. I had the week before last. I had this. I was in at 29 cents.
Goodness.
Yeah, I was in at 29 cents. And then I had this, which on the daily chart it looks trash, but if we look at pre-market, I was in on this, I was in on this, then I had this. Uh I mean that
Ah,
was like yeah, and then I had at OPGN. It was like it was before this 15. Yeah, right here. It was this overnight. And I didn't even hold it till the freaking morning. Like I was literally in here in 46. Like I'm talking dead bottom. And it's just the system. Like I've created the systems to be entering dead bottom. And when I do that, it removes so much. I don't get FOMO anymore, so I'm sure people who learn this, um, they'll potentially have FOMO, but it removes so much greed. Because if I'm ever feeling greedy, it's like I kind of can't because I'm up so much because I'm literally in dead bottom. Like price, when you get in the really good ones, like AULT was decent. 25% in 25 minutes is decent. But when you get in the really good ones, the news catalysts that just full send the stock, you'll be up like you'll be up like 100% in like that same 25 minutes. And then it's so far away from your interest percentage wise, you can't even think about greed. You can't even feel the vibration of greed because you're up so much so fast. And so yeah, and then there's this one. There's this one too. Like it was crazy. Like it was just crazy the week before last. And then last week was like kind of slow. It felt like everything wasn't blasting, but it was still over 100% weak. And so no complaining. Pay my tithes and keep it moving. What happened at AULT? Don't. And see, if I would have still been holding that like some greedy loser, it would have been negative right now. Uh, then LMDX. See, yep, I'm doing exactly what I said. So this will probably gear back up and they'll do this red candle and then break this high, maybe break this high, get back on middle view up, and then they'll send it and they'll likely send it through this 43.17 high. But until then, it's irrelevant. And it's already 10:33 anyway. So, but yeah. And like let's look at seal is irrelevant. As soon as I typed this ticker in, first thing I looked at yesterday's candle was green. I don't care. And the day before it was green too. I really don't care. I'm not trading no third green day. This one, I would have been like, okay, cool, check. But then I would have been like, okay, no, the 520 is above everything. I need this to be inverse. So no. And I'm just going through these, assuming the volume is 5 to 10 million plus. Here, yesterday's candle's green. No thanks. Yesterday's candle green. No thanks. Yesterday's candle's red. Perfect. 520 is beneath everything. Perfect. I would be getting in around open price, middle view up right here. So I'd have been in here and then look, massive volume candle on the 5 minute and double top to get out. Or this one, this is massive too. And so, but it definitely sat in this area for a long time for people to get out.
When would you personally have got out of that one?
Well, the volume is not 5 to 10 million, but I would have got out in this, likely in this candle, this massive volume, and then just dumped in this candle with everybody else.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just going through these as if they were 5 to 10 million. They definitely were not. But yeah, it's that simple. Just type it in. Yesterday red. Okay. 520. Where is that? Okay, cool. All right. Let's get in. Okay, we're paid. That's it. It's simple. By the way, what made you sell? What made you sell up there? I want to see what she says. I mean, she traded it perfectly. I don't know about the 28.5 entry, but
Where did she get in at?
She says she got in at 28.5. So she got in this candle right here at 9:39. So right after it broke this, she probably just waited for it to do that, which makes sense. She hasn't seen as many stocks as I've seen. Me, I want my entry right above the open price. As soon as this thing turned, because then look at this. This is like my kind of like my risk to reward. This is my risk. I got in here. My risk is here, and here's my reward. But yeah, she's got in. She got in this candle at 9:35. Before 9:40 candle at 28.5, and then she got out at 10:11. She said, which is up here in this area, in this candle for sure at 10:10 before 10:15.
Mm.
So very, very excellent. And now, I mean, the moving averages are now starting to move up above pre-market high. So this could potentially just be good consolidation to head higher. Ah, she tried to get in at 26.5. Risky. Or she was trying to get in pre-market. She
I
does
like.
that. She does that sometimes. She'll like enter pre-market. Maybe she was trying to get in here.
Why couldn't she? It was just moving too fast.
Probably, yeah. It did 1.9 million shares in that candle and 1.2 million shares in that candle. So yeah. I'm about to make sure she was trying to enter during pre-market. Because if she was trying to get 26.5 during market open, that ain't the move. Oh, yeah, it had to be pre-market. Because this low is not even low enough to be, could have been near impossible to get 26.5 unless the order was already sitting on the bid. Let's see, AUOT. Nope. LMDX. Oh, no. Man, I've seen this like a hunt. Nah, I've probably seen this like, yeah, that might be valid. I was gonna say I've probably seen this like 100,000 times where they just freaking get people in that first 5 minute candle. I got wrecked before on some trash stock. Uh I lost like 12K in like 3 seconds
Damn.
and entering in that first, yep, that first 5 minute candle. And this was after I had made that rule for myself that I would not enter in that first 5 minute candle, especially on stocks above $1 a share. And yeah, I mean I remember like I was in near the end of it and it didn't really prove itself. Next candle just straight like this. But then it didn't do this little bounce dip. It was just straight down. And yeah, it was the fastest I ever seen 12K disappear.
Damn.
I think I ended the day up like 28 though, so I wasn't tripping. But yeah, I just I just said thank you for the situation and remind myself of my own rule and kept it moving.
Oh, so you went against your rule. That's why.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
Okay.
Yep. And um, that's why now I just kind of talk myself through the price action. But I mean, I only trade low price stuff anyway, so I don't really worry about it that much. Yeah, I usually stay within this price range, this 009 to 70 cent price range, because there's not really much manipulation going on under here. And look, right back to look at this strong base, very strong base, and look at the volume. It's going sideways, and look at how much lower the volume is. It's legit, basically half. You see that?
Hmm.
Sideways price action, high volume. Sideways price action, low volume, going higher, going lower. But it won't be too many people that have this information anyway, unless somehow a bunch of people get the course. But I'm not about to be publicizing it. Just the people who manifest it, it shows up in their reality. Cool. Well, let's go. If it don't, oh well, wasn't meant for you. Wasn't meant for you to get rich.
For sure.
She said it was heavily resisting in the 34 area. I was already up over 20%, so I figured if it dropped to get my 20%, but I placed my sell order at 25% in case they wanted to do a last minute pump before it sold off, and that's exactly what it did. Let's go. Oh, she said she was trying to buy AKU at 26.5 during normal market. We gotta do a little coaching session. Well, definitely don't want to enter where the daily candle is red. Don't want to do that because that lowers the probability. Because normal people are scared to buy the stock if the daily candle's red. So I was a little wary of it at first, but I noticed there was a massive gap up on the daily with high volume in first green day. And then I was like, yeah, yeah, easy money. All right. This looks like it's gonna break that 37.4 high. See if anything else came up to go over. Nope. Only thing is AKU. 60 million volume on the day. And that's all I was saying. Like everything's so specific that it kind of makes it easy to select which one to execute on because the system has so many requirements, but it's simple requirements. You could even make a checklist, kind of like maybe I wouldn't do a check for making it to the scanner, but I would do okay. Yesterday's daily candle red. Well, actually, I would check the volume first. Volume 5 to 10 million plus, and then put a check in the checkbox. And then yesterday's daily candle red, put a check in the checks box. And then next would be uh I would put a checkbox, put entry at 9:35 a.m. or later. And then of course don't don't try to check it and enter at the same time. I would enter then check it, but or maybe put entry right above open price if middle view op is below open price, or entry right above middle view op if open price is below the middle view op. And then other than that, that's it. That's a one, two, that's a three subject checklist. Pretty simple system. It's almost 11. So been done for the day since 7:30 this morning.
Yeah, you made all you needed to make anyway.
Oh yeah. Like I said, 10%, even 5%.
Hmm.
5, 10% a day is good. Good.
What did you say earlier? Most traders only make 8% a year.
Most investors, yeah, they sure don't.
It's crazy.
Most traders lose money all year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but then even the profitable ones, they don't even do 8% the entire year. Like
mm,
my Dow Jones thing on your E-Trade, you'll have like a Dow Jones comparison. My thing is like, I think it's like 200% higher than Dow Jones, like what the industrial average, like institutional investors are doing right now. Mine's like 200% higher than theirs.
that's fire.
Yeah. But that's also because they're trading against each other and trading against banks. I'm trading against people listening to their cousin tell them about some stock called AKU yesterday, and they just randomly bought it and gonna see how high they can hold it. Very, very proud of her. Yeah. I know once she hits six figures, she'll she'll probably rapidly hit 1 million.
When you giving her, what time frame you got for her to do that?
None.
Well,
We don't do time frames in Gen.
for sure. For sure.
No time frames. Just whenever it happens, it happens. Just take it investment by investment.
Hmm.
If you do what you're supposed to do on each one, you're gonna have to have the result that you want. There's no separation from that. And that's one thing I've always loved about investing is that if you do what you're supposed to do, that will make you disciplined, consistently profitable per investment. Your result is always going to be the same. Yeah, normally I wouldn't even be on here, but I definitely wanted to. I want to. I want to get like a maybe like maybe we'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like recorded live sessions, and then I'll just do um Zooms based on your schedule or whoever, or if anybody joins other than you, I really don't care. Um, just do like live Zooms, but I won't record them because it's like it takes up a lot of space on this laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll probably do Monday, Tuesday. Today is complete, and then we'll do tomorrow. Same thing. The system two, look for something in the morning, and then system one at 9:30, and then just go over questions or go over stuff until 11, and then after Wednesday, just do regular Zooms, or if no Zoom, if people are busy, and I'll just be on here by myself, just trade and be done, just to keep it quick and concise, not to really overdo it. 'Cause, I mean, it's not like a bunch of different variations, which is one thing I love. Like when you look at those 5 minute charts, sometimes it could look like it's the same exact stock, but it's just the same exact energetic thing happening repeatedly. That's really all it is.
Let's see. Okay. What out of each day of the week, what has been like your best trading day?
Uh, I feel like the news releases really hit on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I feel like I've seen the most news releases that really spike stocks, like stuff like this, like LMDX, like going 14.9 to 43, like stuff like that. I feel like that's like a Monday type thing, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday are usually like little, they'll do like little quick spikes in the morning. Wednesdays are more like the days where um it'll either do like a move like from maybe like this from here to here and then just full send it off down, or they'll do a move like it'll dip support and reclaim middle view up, and then after like 11 a.m. you'll see something like super high volume pop on the scanner, and then reclaim view up, get in after it closes over middle view up, the next candle, get in as close as middle view up as you can, and then hold on for the profit. But that's few and far between. But yeah. And then Thursday, I feel like Thursdays are like Tuesday. And then Fridays, I feel like stuff doesn't start popping up until like 10:30, 10:45 on the volume scanner. I mean, on the top percent gainer scanner with the volume criteria being met until like 10:30, 10:45. But then Friday afternoon going into the weekend, they like to sometimes do like news releases.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll get stuff like this, like TPST stuff. But yeah, really the main thing is just system one to build the account, and then system two to make the account go exponential.
Fire. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, this was this is a you were anybody entered in where I said enter were basically positive the entire time. And that's how 95% of the moves are. As long as you're entering at right above open price, if middle view up is below, or right above middle view up if the open price is below. Any entering outside of that, I don't know the statistics on it because I don't do it. Very disciplined when it comes to that. And look, here we go. It's coming back up. So maybe this will reclaim middle VWAP and then close back over and then continue higher. But reclaiming middle VWAP, I wouldn't even buy this because the 21 and 28 are crossed down. So this would need to curl more. So this maybe take another 30 minutes, maybe an hour to curl more. And then once they're about to cross back up and it's still middle above middle VWAP, I would get my entry right around middle VWAP still. But yeah, if it just closes over, I wouldn't buy it because it's crossed down. And being crossed down, they could just close it over and then just dump it back off again. And it's kind of already rejected the 83 on the daily chart, which is extremely bearish. That's just as bearish as breaking pre-market high and not closing over it. Clearly the buyers wanted this to go higher, so it went higher. But usually it'll close over pre-market high and just dump. Usually it'll push up, touch this on the daily chart, and dump. And so just depends. What are you about to ask?
I seen you type it in like to me it's like random stocks. Were those stuff that you got from the scanner, or was those just stocks that you already just knew about and you just typing them in?
On the videos,
No, just now, like when you was typing in like different stocks over here on the left hand side.
that was from this scanner.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just it doesn't fit the volume criteria. But I was going through them in my mind just to give examples as if they did fit the volume criteria and then
Okay.
how I would look at it. And the first thing I do is fits volume criteria, I'm looking straight at the daily chart. If this ain't red or white, I'm not going any further. I don't care anymore.
Facts.
It's dead in the water. If this is red or white, okay, next step, 520. Is it beneath everything? It is. Okay, next step. Okay, I need to be getting ready for it to get in. It fits a whole lot of stuff. Look at all this stuff. It has to fit just to make it to the scanner. You gotta fit all this criteria just to get to the scanner. Then after it gets to the scanner, then it has to have 5, 10 million plus volume, multi-million share volume. And then it has to have yesterday's red or white. And then it has to have this. But this right here usually will make this be below everything for the most part. And so that's why this is here. So I'm not really gonna see any stuff that's any stocks that don't have the 520 beneath anything. So that's kind of like it makes it a little bit easier as far as going through. Because if this wasn't on here, this number would be higher. This shorting 3 of 3 stocks would be higher. Yeah, there's my alarm. It says done trading stocks for the day.
All right.
Yeah.
That discipline.
Oh yeah, keep getting. Gotta make sure it's subconscious because